So thank you very much for coming to our Winged Wednesday webinar. I'm your host today. I'm Helen. I'm an ecologist and lecturer. I've been working with Bats Without Borders for a while now, and also on the board. A couple of little reminders about our webinar today. Please do keep yourselves on mute throughout the talk, but keep hold of your questions, pop them in the chat for us so that we can address any questions that you might have later on at the end of the webinar. Oh, and also do remember that the webinar is being recorded, as I said, for the YouTube channel. So feel free to keep your videos off if you want to, but also it's lovely to see everybody who's attending as well, if you'd like to. You can keep up to date with what we've been up to on our social media channels. So you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, for example, but also be aware that we've moved on from Twitter or X and we've moved to Blue Sky. I was quite surprised how easy it is to sign up. So please feel free to do that to find out more about what we've been doing on Blue Sky. You can also keep up to date with what we've been up to on our WhatsApp news channel as well. So there's a QR code here on the slide, but also I'll put a link in the chat so that you can access that more easily if you need to, or if you miss out on the QR code now. We get speakers from all over the globe for these webinars who give their time for free, and obviously our hosts as well give their time for free, but it does also cost us to run these webinars. And obviously we also run a lot of different programs that we fundraise for, and it's quite exciting to announce that this week we get double donations through the Green Match Fund, or which is run through the Big Give Foundation. So please, if you're going to be able to support us through a donation, please do it through the QR code that I've got on the slide here, but I'll also put the link in the chat for you to be able to donate through that. And it's literally just a week to be able to get these double donations in. So please, please, please use that link this week. Exciting dates for the diary. Like I said, we get people from all over the globe to speak at these webinars. We've got stuff coming up from Australia, from South Africa, from Mozambique. Remember, it's the fourth Wednesday of every month over the next few months. So make a note of these next talks coming up. So without further ado, I'm quite excited to be hosting this webinar, not least because I've been involved in the organisation for quite a while now, and we don't often get to shout out a bit about what we do, but also because the organisation activities will be showcased by my colleague and friend, Christopher Imakando, who's a wildlife ecologist. He specialises in small mammals, but he's also a bit of a globetrotter, starting off with a degree in education at the University of Zambia, moving on to Thailand for a master's in ecology, and then to the UK at the University of Greenwich for a PhD in ecology. He's a lecturer and researcher at the Copperbelt University currently, and he's got almost 10 years experience of teaching undergraduate and postgraduate students in ecology and biodiversity monitoring. His current research interests are the impacts of habitat fragmentation on diversity and distributions of small mammals in particular, and also the biological control of pest species in agricultural landscapes. So lastly, but by no means least, obviously Christopher is also our capacity development officer for Bats Without Borders, and this means he's in charge of the whole of Southern Africa. So yeah, I will hand over to Dr. Christopher Imakando to give you more information about Bats Without Borders and his role within the organisation. Go for it, Christopher.
Thank you very much, Helen, for that generous introduction. Helen, are you able to see my slides?
Yep, everything's okay. Thanks, Christopher.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much again for that generous introduction, and thank you very much to everyone joining us today. And today's webinar is a special one because we'll be looking at an overview of the work that Bats Without Borders has been doing over the years in Southern Africa, and also just giving a shout to those who would want to get involved on how you can get involved with activities that we do. Throughout the presentation, we'll be using some lovely photos, and we wanted to start by firstly acknowledging, saying thank you for the permissions from the fantastic photographers listed here. I will not be able to go through all of them, but thank you very much for giving us the permissions to be able to use the lovely photos for the purposes of this presentation. When we look at Africa and also the world at large, we realize that the habitats are facing a lot of pressure, and this is due to just natural causes, but also climate crisis, which is causing a lot of habitat fragmentation and also habitat loss. And that then is also having a lot of impact on biodiversity. For example, in Zambia, it is estimated that about 250 to 300,000 hectares of forests are being lost every year. When we look at that, it gives us a sense of the habitats which we are losing, and these habitats are home to a diversity of species. When we look at those habitats, when we look at the global scale, we have about 1,400 bird species. In Africa, we are blessed to have 250 bird species, with 130 bird species being found in Southern Africa. This is a great diversity, and when you're looking at the forests that we are losing, it puts a lot of pressure on these birds, and most of them, their populations is declining due to habitat loss and fragmentation. Mostly Africa is well known for its diversity in terms of the languages, the cultures that we find in Africa, but also this slide just to highlight the biodiversity that we're able to find in Africa, which needs a lot of conservation efforts, and also just appreciating through the roles, which the benefits that we get from these functional ecosystems. And this slide just shows you some of the great diversity of the birds that we find in Southern Africa. And this just gives us already an idea, even as we start our talk today, the kind of animals that we'll be discussing, and also the diversity that we have and why we need to conserve them because of the various ecosystem services that they play, from playing roles as pollinators and also suppressors of pest insects in agricultural fields. Bats Without Borders was born out of the realization of that Africa is mainly a conservation void. And when we look at the biodiversity that we have in Africa and compared to the other parts of the globe, the conservation efforts are still minimal, and it calls for a lot of people to get involved in the conservation of these species that we have in Africa. As a result, Bats Without Borders has a vision to read that the birds and their habitats in Southern Africa are valued, protected, and conserved. And if this is achieved in the future, it will benefit both the birds themselves, the other biodiversity that is living in these habitats, but also the people by continuous benefiting the services that these birds are playing, as I've already explained. And Bats Without Borders, our mission is therefore to make sure that we conserve birds, biodiversity, and health ecosystems within Southern Africa's changing landscape. And we hope to do this by the 4 pillars that have been highlighted here. I'll not talk much about them, but I'll be able to come back to them in the next slide to just highlight some of the activities that we do in these 4 pillars. But also we have committed ourselves to protect bird diversity and their habitats, to restore important natural habitats, engage with the ecologists, and this is where we have some programs where we're training early career ecologists and also forming bird groups in various places, as you'll be able to see as we go along in the presentation. But also we want to inspire people in Southern Africa to be able to learn and better understand the diversity that we have. And also we want to create a lot of empowerment within the countries so that people within the countries can have the capacity to be able to conserve this great diversity. These are the 4 focus areas that we look at as Bats Without Borders from applied research. where we hope to be able to increase the knowledge about the distribution, ecology, and also the threats that these bats are facing in the different countries in Southern Africa. We also do some engagements where we do education and community engagement, which are very key to bat conservation and research. We also have a component of capacity strengthening, where we want to train and build capacity in early career ecologists and also lovers of biodiversity to try and be able to raise this awareness so that there can be improved conservation in country. But also we want to play a role in the conservation action. So we play a role by trying to advocate for policy change, by advocating for those policies that will help to improve the conservation of the biodiversity in Southern Africa. Here, I'll just give a glance of some of the activities that we have been involved in over the years to just highlight the impact that Bats Without Borders has, ranging from funded internships. We have been able to fund about 11 internships. We've been able to fund 10 student projects, run 31 workshops, and we've been able to continuously run the Winged Wednesday webinars, the one second webinar, and we have been able to reach out to about 2,400 people, and some have been able to reach out by following the recordings on our YouTube channel. Also, to continue looking at some of the impact that we have had so far, we've been able to organize conferences. We've been able to do school visits, about 100 plus school visits, where we go into these schools and be able to engage with the young learners, trying to raise awareness about bats, hoping to change their perspectives while they're still young, but also that can have then an impact when they go back to their homes and share what they are learning with their parents. And here we've been able to develop 8 lesson plans, which are free online, which are available to everyone who wants to download them. And these are translated in different languages in Southern Africa, which can be translated, can be downloaded and be used by anyone who is willing to be able to learn more and teach others about bats. But also we do other activities such as bat walks and also bat talks. We've been able to do more than 35 bat talks and also bat walks. And when you look at all this work that Bats Without Borders is doing, it contributes to about 7 global goals, the global sustainable development goals as listed down there. So this shows the impact that despite being a small organization, we are having as an NGO. Another initiative that we have started as Bats Without Borders is to run the Women in Bat Science. And this program was developed to celebrate women in Africa and also globally who are working on African bats. So we had our first Indawa in 2023, and following on from the success of this Indawa that we had in 2023, we have gone on to have another one in 2024, and recently we just had the 2025 version. So this is just to celebrate and raise awareness about the women who are working on African bats. So this is also another event that you can look out for and be able to join to learn more about the different things that are being done to do with bat conservation and also research. We also want to just give a plug again to this same event that we are listening to today, the Winged Wednesday webinars. We do run these every 4th week of the month, starting from March all the way up to November. And we want to invite you that whenever you are available and be able to attend in person, or they are run online. And if you miss, you can still catch up on our YouTube channel. So far, we have been able to run 51, which are already on the YouTube channel, which you can be able to follow and be able to learn more about the research that is going on bats in Africa. Also, as the Bats Without Borders were able to organize an event, which was called the Ruford Foundation Namibian Learning Event. This event was to bring together the Ruford Foundation grantees from the different countries in Africa to be able to network, exchange, and also be able to strengthen the capacity. So this was an opportunity for them to come together and be able to share the activities that they're doing in their various countries. And following on from this event, through the consultation with the participants that attended and also with our in-country partners, we were able to develop a program that we are calling an early career training pipeline, which was born out of the realization that most of the early career ecologists and also conservationists in Africa, especially in Southern Africa, tend to have limited opportunities for such trainings. So we launched this in October 2024, and it is running as a 1-year program where we are providing the participants with courses ranging from employability, leadership, and also conservation training. And just to highlight the impact that we've been had in this program so far, we have 28 participants coming from 10 different African countries. And this is the first time that we've been able to extend our coverage beyond Southern Africa. So in addition to Southern Africa, now we have participants from Nigeria, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Rwanda. So this also, again, is just showing how far we can go to just raise this capacity in the different countries among the early career ecologists and conservationists. These participants are engaging with the courses that have been highlighted there, ranging from grant writing all the way to safeguarding, so that then they are better equipped that when they go out to be able to engage with the young people and also protect the vulnerable adults, they're able to do this with the necessary knowledge that is required. But these courses also, like I've already highlighted, empower them then to become better ecologists and conservationists. Hopefully, as they go on with their careers, they'll be able to help with the conservation of this biodiversity that is found in Southern Africa. Another initiative that Bats Without Borders started is the Bat Group Initiative. So this is where we are trying to empower the in-country ecologists and also conservation lovers to be able to go out and be able to form bat groups in their countries, then raise awareness about bat conservation. So thanks to Bat Conservation International, we're able to start this in early 2023. And then the participants have engaged with the 8 different sessions, which equip them with the necessary knowledge and skills to be able to go out and be able to form these groups in their countries and be able to raise awareness about bat conservation. So in this first bat group training, which was conducted in 2023, we had 25 trainees who completed the training from 7 Southern African countries. And these then have gone out and continued to be able to engage with the communities in their different countries. And that what it has done is that from this training, we're able to build a community of practice through these participants who are going out to engage with the communities. But also, we've not just ended there and left them alone. We've continued to support them with some materials and also some advice as they go on and do their engagement activities. So Bats Without Borders has continued to do that. But also, each one of these participants has gone on to give at least 5 community engagements, and most have actually done more than the 5 engagements that they had committed themselves to be able to do. But also, Bats Without Borders runs a small grants program, which these bat groups then, which are affiliated to Bats Without Borders, are able to apply to in case they need some funding to be able to run some of their activities. Following also, they'll be able to just highlight some of the key highlights that these bat groups have been able to do to just show the impact that we can have when we train these local people in country, building in-country capacity. So here is just some of the activities such as just a morning coffee, some art engagements in Cape Town, there's some bat walk in KwaZulu-Natal, campfire chats in Mozambique, getting experience mist netting opportunities for the groups in Zimbabwe, but also there's the strengthening bat groups in Malawi, and also just the groups that are in Zambia who are going out to engage with the youths and universities also to raise awareness about bat conservation. So in this slide, just to try and show you some of the activities that have been able to be done by the group that is in Cape Town, and also just showing the amazing artistic work that they have been able to do, looking at the bat which is in the middle there, which was drawn by one of the participants there. But these are some of the activities that have been able to do. Going also to some coffee shops just to have discussion also with people, taking opportunity, those who are coming to the coffee shops to have opportunities to explain to them the importance about bats, and hopefully then this message is getting out there and more people get to appreciate bats more and more. And it's amazing to see the acceptance also of the people who come and engage with these groups. Also want to give also just a shout out to Buster, was able to do a tax for birds in 2024, where he was able to do a fundraising for the Cape Bird Group through his artistic work. He's a tattoo person. So through that, he was able to raise some funds for bird conservation in Cape Town, which is really amazing. But also on the right-hand side, just showing also how far we have gone. Also with the U3A, they were able to give a talk there about birds and their importance in the ecosystem. Also here to just highlight that there's also this group that has been working for over 30 years, the bird interest group of KwaZulu-Natal. But one of the members there, Ami, was also part of the 2023 bird group training. And then she has gone on to get involved in the activities that the KwaZulu-Natal bird group is involved in. So just to give a shout out also to that work which she's doing down there. In Mozambique here, just to give you also the highlight of some of the engagement activities that the members have been able to do. So here we have Osvaldo, who has been able to go out in the communities to be able to educate people on the importance of birds. We also have, again, it's him going in schools, talking to learners in high schools and also in primary schools, trying to debunk some of the myths that the learners have about birds, and then also try to explain them, to educate them about the importance of these birds so that they can, as they are growing, they say it's a society which is appreciating the roles that these birds are able to play. And just recently, as part of International Bird Appreciation Day, which fell on 17th April, he was able again to do some engagement activities in schools, but also with the communities to continue to raise awareness about birds. Over to Malawi, also there are groups that have been formed in Malawi, and they are doing fantastic works with the raising awareness about bird conservation. So this is the Sapitwa Bird Group, which has been formed, and here this is John, who was one of our participants for the 2023 Bird Group training, but the others are just the new members who he's been able to recruit and have joined this group. And in the coming months, then they'll be going out, conducting bird walks and also bird talks, which is very exciting to be able to see. In Zimbabwe, also, there's the Mashonaland Bird Group, which has also continued to be able to be able to give information to the public about birds. Again, most of the members here, again, were participants of the 2023 Bird Group training that Birds Without Borders organized. What you see on the slides, it's called Birds in Zimbabwe, but that name has now been changed to the Mashonaland Bird Group. And those who are interested can then follow them on Facebook and try to follow and participate in some of the activities in case you find yourself that you are in that area. Also, this group has been out and about to spot birds, and this is just one of the bird species. They sent us this photo of a bird species that we're able to see in a natural habitat, which is just lovely to be able to see a healthy bird in its natural habitat. This group also from Zimbabwe had an opportunity, thanks to Carol, George, and Harriet. They had an opportunity to have some hands-on experience with the bird handling, to have some experience with bird identification and also setting up of mist nets and also surveys in caves. So these are some of the opportunities that those people who participate in these programs that we are running get to have later on. So we encourage more people also to get involved in the activities that we are doing as Birds Without Borders. In Zambia, we have the Lusaka Bird Group, which has been going out in Lusaka in schools and also in communities to talk to the community about the importance of birds. So here we have Gideon, for example, with a laptop trying to show the learners some of the birds and also just trying to implore them that birds are our friends and they need us. We need to help with the conservation of these birds. And these are some of the engagement activities. The recent one also, which they ran as part of Bird Appreciation Day, where they were able to go to the University of Zambia to talk to the students, to engage with the students, to teach them about the importance of birds and why we need to care about conservation of birds. And the response was very overwhelming. People who came asked that they can go back again and be able to give this talk. So in case you're an institution who feel like you want to invite us to come in as Birds Without Borders also, we do come in and be able to share the knowledge about birds and explain to the different groups. So that is also something that you would want to take an opportunity. Following from the success that we have seen from the 2023 BAT group trainees, we have launched the second BAT group training, which is the 2025 BAT group training, thanks to the funders who have been listed there. Of this training program started in February, and it will run up to June. And then we are hoping that this will actually increase the impact that these groups are having on the ground, because more people now will be trained and more groups are expected to come up in Southern Africa. And this is exciting for bat conservation. Another initiative that Bats Without Borders has been running is a project called the Copperbelt Bats. So Copperbelt Bats is another interesting program that we have been running. So late last year, the team from Bats Without Borders came together on the Copperbelt in Ndola, and together with the learners, the pupils from Ndola Primary School, were able to roll out the classroom without walls, the lessons that I explained, that we have the 8 free online lessons. So this project came as a result of realizing that there's some bat and human conflict that is going on in the area. So we want to see how best can we mitigate, and one of it is the community engagement and also raising awareness about the importance of bats. As part of this engagement also, we are co-designing a book with the learners in Ndola to try and capture their stories so that we can have a story around bats from the learners themselves. This program also will spill over, will start also implementing this program in the schools on the Copperbelt in Kitwe. So that is also another priority area that we are looking forward to. So following on from the youth panel that we had on Ndola, we have gone out through our community engagement officer, Purity Kalenga. We've been able to visit 7 schools in Ndola, where we've been able to engage with about 292 pupils. And these have been able to go through the 8 lessons that the Classroom Without Walls offers, and they have been able to increase the knowledge and also the appreciation for bats in these learners. And hopefully, as they go out and engage with their parents, this is also the message that they are sharing, and more people get to appreciate bats more. In Malawi, also a similar program is being rolled out by Wangani and also Chimwemwe in Malawi. They are rolling out this program in the different schools, going out in schools again to roll out the Classroom Without Walls to teach the learners about bats, why they're important, and why we need to worry about conserving these bat species. Another initiative that we have introduced as Bats Without Borders is that in Ndola, we were able to trial the nursery school program, which includes the 2 lesson plans where we read a story on bats, which is, we read to them a book called Stella Luna, and we're able to implement this successfully in Ndola, and this is the effort from the team who were able to come up. Another initiative that we have done as Bats Without Borders is to trial the nursery school program, which we have trialed in 3 nursery schools program, where we have 2 lessons going out in schools and reading to the young children about a story about bat, which is in a book called Stella Luna. Thanks to the education team who put in a lot of effort in developing this program. And after a successful implementation, the trial by Purity Kalenga, we are hoping now to go out and roll this program even in more nursery schools on the Copperbelt province. Then we are also doing a program which we are calling Train the Trainer, where we want to train more people who will be equipped with the necessary skills and knowledge to be able to go out and roll the Classroom Without Walls material. So here we want to be a blended kind of approach. We'll have some online and also in-person training, where those who will be trained then can go out in the community and be able to roll out this particular program. And here we are actually extending a call to those who are on this call, and also you can share the word that those who want to be part of this program can get in touch with us with following the details that are going to be put in the chat, that you can become a trainer, and then you can be trained, and then you go on to be able to train others and also be able to implement this online material. So you can get in touch with us, then we'll get back to you with more information when this training is going to start. But this is an exciting opportunity, I can promise you. Another work that we are doing in Malawi is through our junior conservation officer based at Monkey Bay, Wongani, Swande. We are rolling out a fruit bat monitoring program where we are going out to be able to search the roosts, to do surveys to find the roosts for these bats and also understand the habitat in which these bats are found. But also he's been able to go in then and be able to engage the community and also train rangers on how to do these roost surveys. As a result of this, we are looking forward to roll out a big fruit bat monitoring program in Southern Africa. And this is one of the things that Helen did highlight, but I think I also come back to it towards the end of this presentation, that we want more people to get engaged in the fruit bat monitoring program. And to do that also, we need to develop an app. So we need some funds, and that's where some of the money that you are going to donate is going to go to. We want to roll out this first, which is the first of a kind for us, our first community science project, where we're going to be doing a fruit bat monitoring program. Hopefully, we want this to be launched in May, and we are looking for volunteers, those who feel like they can get involved in locating where these bats are found, and then just be able to log how many bats you have found and also where you have found them. So it's an exciting opportunity, and more information will be shared before the start of the program. There's also another project which we are about to start as Bats Without Borders. This will be based in Lusaka, in the Gulf Coast in Lusaka, and this is called the Habitat Connections. And basically, this is to improve the habitats and also connectivity of these habitats in urban landscapes to make sure that the insect pollinators, the birds, and the bats are able to remain in these areas and continue to use these areas. So we'll be working with various stakeholders to be able to design these urban landscapes so that they are suitable for insect pollinators, birds, and also birds. So this is an exciting project that's also Bats Without Borders implementing. So we have an officer who will be starting in June. Initially, that will run for a year, but hopefully this can be even for a long time. All this work that I've been able to highlight, the works that Bats Without Borders is doing, it wouldn't been possible without the sacrifice of a lot of people who have been able to volunteer to be able to put their hours and also their energy to the work that we have highlighted. So we are truly thankful to the generous time of our operational team, the volunteers, ambassadors, and also board and advisors. But also just to highlight that this is a contribution of a lot of people in the background coming from across 17 different countries within Africa, but also outside Africa, which is very exciting to see the passion that these people have. And these then are going out there and they are a voice for African bats. And you can also join and become a voice for these African bats. I also want to just end again by giving a shout out to the fruit bat monitoring program from 22nd to 29th April. So when you donate to Bats Without Borders through the Green March Fund, which is being run by the Big Give, the donation will be doubled, and that will go a long way in helping with the conservation of bats. So just to again call to you to help to donate and also spread the word that there's this donation that is happening just in a matter of days. If you can participate in this, your efforts will be truly appreciated. So you can also follow us on the various channels that Helen was able to allude to, from Facebook and also Blue Sky and also LinkedIn. With that, I want to end the presentation. Well, thank you very much for your attention, and we'll take some questions from the audience and also some contributions from the audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christopher. That was really, really insightful. For me, obviously, I've been involved in Bats Without Borders for quite a while now, and been able to see it grow a little bit. But this presentation that you've given today really does sort of showcase that journey that we've taken, and you know, the exciting work that's been going on. I've been quite sort of focused on very small aspects, whereas you've had an insight into the bigger picture, which is, I think, really quite exciting and interesting. I think we don't really have any questions in the chat at the moment, but please do feel free to pop your questions in the chat. There's a few comments obviously saying how amazing the work is that's being done. So thank you very much, Kerry and Carol, there for your comments on that. Maybe I can just ask a couple of questions. I just wanted to say, first of all, how interesting the idea of campfire chats are. It's not something that I've really done before, but what a really interesting way of getting people together. In terms of a question for you, with your insight into sort of the overview of being able to gather people from the whole of the Southern African region, and we've seen quite a few examples of that, especially with the back group training, do you have any challenges when it comes to getting people together from the sort of wider region and even across the globe, because I know you've been working with other people across the world as well?
Okay. Thank you very much. Of course, there could be some challenges, but also I think on the bigger picture, there are a lot of wins in working with the people across a bigger region. I think a few challenges could have been maybe when you're working with people from different regions, maybe different cultural backgrounds, but also different time zones and everything, to get everyone to be able to work together. But fortunately, I think the programs that we run, we are quite flexible, and the Bats Without Borders is very inclusive, that we're able to bring on board and be able to accommodate everyone that comes on board and just work with them. And that has helped us actually to be able to reach a wider audience and be able to tailor even some of our lessons to suit some of the cultures where these people are coming from, so that there are no conflicts either with the diversity of the trainers that we're having or working with a wider group. But I think I've found it very informative and interesting to me to be able to work with these bat groups across Southern Africa, but also just to see that it is not only a small portion of people who are interested. You have an opportunity to be able to see that there are more people who are doing this, and passionate people who are working for the conservation of birds. And that gives a drive. I think even for the individual bat groups, when it goes maybe for a month or two without a meeting with everyone, when you come and meet, everyone just gets recharged to want to go and continue, because they feel like, okay, I'm not the only one who is doing this, everyone is doing it. And that has had a lot of impact on the ground by the different people from the different countries pushing each other to do more and encouraging each other to do more work. So I think there are more gains actually by working with the people from different countries and also from different regions, to get expertise from different areas, because also some of the trainers come from different areas, which has been very exciting. So it is very diverse, but everything works together to have a positive impact on the ground.
Fantastic. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, from a personal experience as well, and I'm sure you'll have had this same experience when you work in a relatively new field, engaging with communities who are not necessarily as receptive as you would like everybody to be. When you're on your own, it's a lot harder when you've got a good network to bounce ideas off and share your wins, share your trials. And so, yeah, I agree. I think it's a great opportunity moving forward to get a really great network together, and also build on people who have had experience in this sort of area for a long time. You know, you mentioned that the bat group in KwaZulu-Natal has been going for quite a while now, and that expertise takes a while to build up. So to be able to link people to share expertise is very exciting. I don't see any more questions in the chat apart from one from Lorraine. So I think we can probably both answer this, Christopher, that the links for the fruit bat monitoring program, to be involved in that, can it be shared on Facebook groups? Please do share it wherever you can. So thanks, Lorraine, for asking that. Christopher, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you've answered that, but just to say we are looking for help to spread the word even more, So if you're able to share it even on your social media platforms so that more people can get involved, that will be appreciated and it will be very exciting. So please feel free to be able to share these links so that people also for the donations, and if you know some organizations that you know are interested in conservation and you feel like they might be interested in making a donation, or you have a group of people who you feel they might be interested in learning more and getting involved, because this will be a citizen science project. So we want the more people are involved, the better, so that then we can be able to have more records coming in this program. So it's an exciting opportunity for everyone to get involved. So please do share the word.
Absolutely. So just to also say that George, I don't know, George, would you like to unmute yourself by any chance to mention your point there?
No, it's only we'll be out in Zim again first 2 weeks of March, and again happy to get some back group members across to Miri and a weekend trapping.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you very much, George. And George is obviously.
We'll be in touch with Chris on that, I guess.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, thanks very much, George. That's exciting, and I think the group, the feedback was just amazing, and I think they really loved and learned a lot on that program. But maybe just to make you jealous, George, I'm joining you from the Kasanka National Park. So, yeah.
Ah, yes, you are.
Yeah, so just to mention to everybody who hasn't noticed, George, and I see Carol's there as well, are the people who have been mentioned in the presentation about supporting back group members with some training in Zimbabwe. So thank you very much, and thank you for the offer coming up again. So yes, thank you very much. I see we've got another question there from Salome. Thank you very much for the insightful presentation, Christopher. You mentioned that you're open to giving back talks if institutions invite you. Did I understand that correctly? I'd love for you to come to visit my institution. Salome, if you'd like to unmute yourself and let us know about your institution, but if you'd prefer, obviously you can put the response in the chat as well. But I'll let Christopher answer that question first. Yeah, go for it.
Thank you very much, Salome. That is, to us, always an exciting opportunity to come and be able to talk about birds and also just educate people about their importance and also what we can do to be able to help with the conservation of birds. I think you can get in touch with Kerry. Maybe if Kerry could put the email address in the chat so that they can get in touch with you. But if you don't mind, you could just unmute yourself and just share with us a bit about your the whereabouts of your organization, and also, but we are very much open to that. You can invite us and we can come in and be able to give a bird talk. That's something that we've been doing across the country.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Actually, I'm in Malawi, working with the University of Malawi. Yeah, so I'm a staff associate, working in vertebrate zoology. So yeah, I do lecture at University of Malawi. So that's why I really wanted that maybe you can have a talk with my students, because I'm also involved much in small mammals, and I'm actually doing my master's right now, where I'm looking into birds as pest suppressors in rice schemes. So I really have this interest, but I'm just starting. So I really wanted my students to have a feel of what bird conservation is all about. Yes.
Thank you very much, Salome, and I think it's nice to hear from you again. I think this is like what I was mentioning, that this is why it's important for us to be able to train people in country. So within Malawi, we have the people that can come and be able to give a talk at the University of Malawi. So Wangani Suvande is available there. He's actually just started his MSc there. And is someone that is trained by Birds Without Borders on how to be able to do this. So this helps us to be able to reach out to a wider audience and also have an impact in different countries. So what we look forward to as Birds Without Borders is to build capacity in all these countries. So yes, indeed, even there is capacity. When you write to us, we can then be able to talk to our staff on the ground who can come in and be able to share about this knowledge on bats with the students.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks. Just a comment there from Lorraine, mentioning how jealous we all are. This is obviously referring to you being in Kasanka National Park right now. Obviously, you don't have the migration going on right now, but there are plenty of other bats, as well as obviously very interesting other species like the kinder baboon that are a good attraction for Kasanka as well. So yes, I am also very jealous. I do see that we've got a raised hand from Lloyd. Lloyd, would you like to unmute yourself and voice your question?
Not really. Thank you so very much. Not really a question. Just to appreciate the presentation and the works that are going in there. It's interesting to note that you're trying to protect biodiversity. I think bats form part of that space. It's very interesting to see the works that have gone in there across Southern Africa. You people are really doing a commendable job, and we just want to encourage you to continue on this trajectory. It will bear a significant amount of fruit for mankind, and in terms of conserving biodiversity, it's very, very important, and happy to see that. And thanks to Dr. Christopher Imakando for that good presentation and your works. I was looking forward to listening to this presentation, and I think I'll make time to just see you in person at some point here. Well done, and well done to the entire team. Thank you so much.
I have to say, here, I absolutely agree. Christopher and the rest of the team, and also all of the back group members who've gone through all the training, for example, just everybody involved in all the work that Bats Without Borders has done. And yeah, just a quick shout out to our CEO as well, but Rachel Cooper-Bohannon, who is probably, hopefully still in the audience, who's basically spearheaded all of the work that's been going on. And yeah, from my end, a huge thank you to Christopher again as well for presenting all of the work that Bats Without Borders has done in such a fantastic way to showcase what's going on. And as Lloyd said, this isn't just about a single species. This is about a whole host of species in a whole region contributing to biodiversity, and the work that we do contributing to biodiversity conservation in terms of habitat and ecosystem conservation. And you know, it's all, I suppose, from my perspective, you've highlighted how important people are when it comes to conservation of any manner, that, you know, people are the foundation of any conservation efforts. So yeah, thank you so much, Christopher, for that great talk. I don't see any other questions in the chat, and I don't see any other hands up, but just a quick reminder, if you didn't quite catch the whole of today's talk, or if you want to catch up again later, remind yourself of the content of the talk, then you can go onto our YouTube channel, which has all of the recordings of the talks that are given on the Winged Wednesday webinars. So basically, it'll be all 51 at the moment and 52 when the next one, when Christopher's is put on there as well. Christopher, would you like to say anything lastly before we finish?
Just to highlight, I think to show that the work that we are doing extends beyond bats, just like we do, we extend beyond the borders in terms of the coverage with the people that we are working with. So on our early career training program, we were able to bring together people on board. Others are working on birds, others are working on insects, others are working on different groups other than birds. So this is just to highlight that we are looking at conserving biodiversity as a whole, because we do understand that they are related and they need to be conserved together. So these habitats, if they are conserved, then also the other animals will benefit from that conservation. So indeed, we are working for a greater cause that we conserve the biodiversity that is in Southern Africa, but also just to lastly give again a last call to those who are willing to be able to get in touch with us, and you also follow us on our various social media platforms. Get involved in the work that we are done. You can also help just by spreading the word. Sometimes we share on our social media platforms the work that we are doing. You can share some of those posts so that more people can get to know the work that we are doing and why it's important to conserve this unique biodiversity in Southern Africa. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you, Helen.
Thanks so much, Christopher. That was a really, really insightful, fantastic talk. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who's joined us from, I'm sure, all over the world again. And we'll see you at the next one.